The morning comes without permission. You did not ask for it. The light enters the room and finds you already awake, or still awake, or somewhere between the two. It does not matter. The day has arrived, and it will not wait. Musashi understood this. He did not speak of mornings as opportunities. He did not romanticize the dawn. He simply rose. He moved. The sword did not ask if he was ready. The opponent did not check if he had slept well. The world operated on a frequency that did not care for comfort, and he tuned himself to that frequency until there was no separation between his will and his action. You are not Musashi. You know this, but you also know that the same silence that surrounded him in those cold hours before combat is the same silence that surrounds you now, in this moment, in this room, in this life. The difference is not in the silence. The difference is in what you do with it. Most people fill silence. They reach for the phone, the screen, the noise. They cannot sit with themselves, because sitting with themselves means confronting what they have avoided, the unfinished work, the broken promise, the gap between who they are and who they said they would become. Silence is a mirror, and most people would rather look anywhere else. Musashi did not fill silence. He sharpened himself inside it, alone on the mountain, alone in the dojo, alone with his thoughts, his failures, his enemies, his own mediocrity. He did not wait for inspiration. He did not wait for the right moment. He simply began, and beginning, again and again, became his only religion. You have been waiting. You know this too. Waiting for clarity, waiting for certainty, waiting for the pain to be less sharp, the path to be more visible, the stakes to feel smaller. But clarity does not arrive before action. Clarity is the result of action. You move, and the fog clears. You hesitate, and the fog thickens. This is the war, not the war against others. The war against the version of yourself that wants to stay comfortable, the version that bargains, the version that says tomorrow, the version that needs permission, needs validation, needs the conditions to be perfect before it will act. Musashi fought 60 duels and won them all, but the hardest opponent was never across from him. It was inside him, the voice that said, rest, the voice that said, you have done enough, the voice that wanted warmth when the way required cold. Discipline is not motivation. Motivation is weather. It comes and goes. Discipline is architecture. You build it brick by brick, in the dark, when no one is watching, when there is no reward. You build it because the alternative is slow collapse. Consider the swordsman's morning. He does not wake to music. He does not ease into the day. He rises in the cold, and he moves his body through forms he has done 10,000 times. His muscles remember. His breath is steady. There is no thought. There is only repetition. And in that repetition, something sharpens. You think you need a breakthrough. You think you need the one insight, the one moment, the one shift that will change everything. But mastery does not work that way. Mastery is the accumulation of 10,000 unremarkable mornings. It is the refusal to skip, the refusal to negotiate, the refusal to make exceptions. Musashi carved wooden swords in solitude. He painted. He wrote, not because he was talented, because he was relentless. He did not ask if he felt like it. He did not check his energy levels. He simply sat down and began. And the beginning, repeated, became excellence. The modern world has made you soft. It has told you that you deserve ease. That struggle is optional. That discomfort is a design flaw to be engineered away. But discomfort is the signal. It is the edge where growth happens. You avoid it, and you stagnate. You lean into it, and you evolve. Musashi spent years in caves, in forests, in places where no one would find him. He did not do this to punish himself. He did this to remove distraction, to strip away everything except the essential question, what am I capable of when there is nothing left to hide behind? You hide behind busyness, behind notifications, behind other people's opinions, behind the idea that you are waiting for the right time. But there is no right time. There is only now, and the decision you make inside it. The sword does not care about your feelings. The mountain does not care about your doubts. The blank page does not care about your fear. They are indifferent, and that indifference is a gift. It means you are free, free to act, free to fail, free to try again. Musashi's record was not built on perfect days. It was built on days when he was tired, days when he was unsure, days when the opponent was faster, stronger, more experienced. He won because he refused to let his internal state dictate his external action. He separated the two. He felt fear and moved anyway. He felt doubt and struck anyway. This is the lesson. Not that you will stop feeling, but that feeling is not the same as choosing. You feel resistance, and you move through it. You feel hesitation, and you begin anyway. You feel the pull of comfort, and you walk toward the cold. The room is still dark. The world is still asleep, and you are still here, reading this, which means some part of you knows, some part of you remembers. There is a version of you that does not bargain, that does not wait, that does not need the conditions to be perfect. That version is not somewhere in the future. It is here, right now, buried under excuses, under distractions, under the weight of unchosen days. But it is here, and it is waiting for you to stop talking and start moving. Musashi did not write about balance. He did not speak of moderation. He spoke of the way, and the way was absolute. It required everything. Not sometimes. Not when convenient. Always. You want to keep one foot in comfort and one foot in greatness. But greatness does not work that way. It requires both feet. It requires the willingness to let go of the life you have been living in, order to build the life you are capable of. This does not mean cruelty. It does not mean self-destruction. It means precision. It means knowing what matters and eliminating everything else. It means waking up and asking, what is the one thing I can do today that I will not regret tomorrow? Most people do not ask this question. They drift. They react. They let the day happen to them. And at the end of it, they wonder why nothing has changed. Musashi did not drift. Every action was chosen. Every hour was directed. He did not have more time than you. He had more clarity about what the time was for. You have been given the same hours, the same silence, the same choice. The only difference is whether you will use them or let them use you. The path is not hidden. It is right in front of you. It is the thing you have been avoiding because it is hard, because it requires change, because it will cost you the comfort you have grown attached to. But comfort is not peace. Comfort is sedation. Peace is what comes after you have done the work, after you have faced the thing you were afraid of, after you have kept the promise you made to yourself. Musashi made one promise, to master the way of the sword. Everything else was secondary. Relationships, comfort, safety, approval. He let them all fall away because he understood that mastery requires space, and space requires sacrifice. You do not need to become Musashi. You need to become the version of yourself that stops waiting, that stops negotiating, that stops looking for permission. The opponent is not out there. The opponent is the voice in your head that says later, that says not yet, that says you are not ready. You will never be ready. Readiness is a myth sold to people who want an excuse to delay. You are ready when you begin, not before. Musashi's first duel was at 13. He was not ready. He won anyway. He won because he committed fully to the moment. He did not hold anything back. He did not hedge. He moved with absolute intent, and the opponent, who was older, stronger, more experienced, hesitated. And in that hesitation, Musashi struck. Hesitation is the gap where you lose. Not to others, to yourself. You hesitate, and the moment passes. You hesitate, and the clarity fades. You hesitate, and the version of you that was capable slips back into the version that is comfortable. The strike must be clean. No second guessing. No looking back. You decide, and you move, and you trust that the motion itself will carry you forward. This is not recklessness. This is precision. You have thought enough. You have planned enough. Now you act. The mountain does not move for you. The dawn does not wait. The sword does not bend. And the life you want does not arrive on its own. You build it. One unremarkable morning at a time. One unchosen repetition. One refused excuse. Musashi did not need applause. He did not need witnesses. He needed only the work. And the work, done in solitude, became the foundation of everything that followed. You are alone right now, in this moment, with this choice. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to make it easier. This is the truth that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. But it is also the truth that will set you free. Because if no one is coming, then it is up to you. And if it is up to you, then you are not a victim. You are the author. Write the next line. Not tomorrow. Now. The room is cold. The page is blank. The sword is waiting. Move. There is a story they tell about Musashi in his final years. He withdrew to a cave, not to escape, not to rest, to finish, to complete the work he had started decades before. He was alone. He had nothing. No students, no disciples waiting outside, no legacy secured, just him and the stone and the silence. In that cave he painted, he wrote, sat with the question that had followed him through 60 duels, through years of wandering, through cold nights and empty roads. What is the difference between movement and mastery? Movement is reaction. Mastery is elimination. The beginner tries everything. The master has removed everything that does not serve. The beginner collects techniques. The master has one technique, perfected to the point of invisibility. You are still collecting. You are still adding. You think the answer is out there, in the next book, the next strategy, the next insight. But the answer is not addition. The answer is subtraction. What can you remove? What can you let go of? What are you carrying that no longer serves the person you are trying to become? Musashi walked with 2 swords, but he trained with one mind, singular, undivided. He did not split his attention. He did not hedge his bets. He did not keep backup plans. He committed fully to the way, and the way revealed itself only to those who refused to look elsewhere. You are looking elsewhere. You are splitting your focus. You are trying to serve 2 masters, the life you want and the life you are comfortable with, but you cannot serve both. One will devour the other. The sword must be light. The mind must be clear. The intent must be absolute. Musashi faced his final opponent not in a duel, but in that cave. The opponent was not another swordsman. It was time. It was age. It was the realization that the body would fail, that the hand would tremble, that the speed would fade. And in the face of that, he did not despair. He sharpened what remained. He turned inward. He refined. He wrote his final thoughts not as a plea for remembrance, but as a map for those who would come after. He did not ask to be remembered. He simply refused to waste what was left. This is the question you must answer. Not someday. Today. Right now. In this moment. In this room. What are you refusing to waste? Your time is finite. Your energy is limited. Your attention is the most valuable resource you will ever possess. And you are giving it away to distraction, to comfort, to the endless scroll, to the voices that do not matter. Musashi gave his attention to the sword, to the canvas, to the silence, and in return, the silence gave him clarity. You want clarity without the silence. You want the result without the process. You want the mastery without the 10,000 mornings of repetition. But it doesn't work that way. It has never worked that way. The path is steep. The work is cold. The progress is invisible for long stretches. And then, one day, without announcement, something shifts. The form becomes effortless. The strike becomes instinct. The mind becomes still. But that day only comes if you do not stop, if you do not negotiate, if you refuse to let the difficulty of the path become an excuse to leave it. Musashi did not leave the path, even when it led him into isolation, even when it cost him relationships, warmth, the comforts that others took for granted. He stayed, because the path was not a means to an end. The path was the point. You are still looking for the end, the arrival, the moment when you can finally stop and say, I made it. But there is no arrival. There is only the next morning, the next repetition, the next choice to stay on the path or step off it. Most people step off. They tell themselves they will return. They tell themselves it is temporary. But the path does not wait. Every day you are off it, the distance grows. And eventually, the gap becomes too wide. The return becomes too hard. And they settle. Musashi did not settle. He could have. After the first 10 duels, after the 20th, after he had proven himself, he could have stopped. He could have opened a school. He could have taken students and lived comfortably on his reputation. But he did not, because comfort was not the goal. Mastery was the goal, and mastery has no finish line. You are standing at the edge. You have been standing here for a long time. You know what the path requires. You know what it will cost, and you are deciding, right now, whether to step forward or step back. If you step back, nothing dramatic will happen. Life will continue. You will find reasons. You will find distractions. You will find comfort, and the years will pass. And one day, you will look back and realize that the person you could have become never arrived, not because you failed, but because you never began. If you step forward, the path will not be easy. It will not be warm. It will not applaud you, but it will sharpen you. It will clarify you. It will strip away everything that is not essential, and what remains will be stronger than anything you have known. Musashi walked forward, into the cold, into the silence, into the duels that could have killed him. He walked forward because standing still was a death of a different kind. The sword is in your hand. The path is in front of you. The morning has come. Move.